I'm Jennifer. For this recipe and more, visit me at savorwithjennifer.com. Hey there, everybody. Today we are making, you know what we're making?
Shrimp cakes?
Yes. You know, it's kind of nice to have an assistant who pays attention. I asked Jack, and Jack's like, I don't know.
I pay attention.
Okay, so instead of crab cakes, we're making shrimp cakes because shrimp is easy to source and crab is super expensive, and these are super delicious actually in their own way. So to go with the shrimp cakes, we're going to have seasoned rice, roasted asparagus. We're going to have a big fat juicy ribeye because we should have surf and turf.
Of course.
And we're also going to char up some lemons. So the thing that's going to take the longest is the rice. So we're going to start that now. And while we're starting the rice, we're going to take our shrimp cake mixture and pat it into patties. So the seasoned rice starts off in, it's a cast iron skillet with a quarter cup of butter, and we're going to melt that over the flame, and then we're going to brown the rice in the skillet. And to get browning the rice is kind of an essential step to this recipe. It turns out really good, but it takes the most time, probably 30 minutes to finish that. In the meantime, my lovely assistant Laura gets to do the dirty work.
Of course.
Yay. Now, I'll preface this with, we have washed our hands. So what we have here is a shrimp mixture. I'll include the recipe details, but it's basically peeled, veined raw shrimp cut into pea size, mixed with things like panko, a bunch of vegetables, some seasonings and herbs. It's not hard to make at all, but it does need to chill for about an hour, or you can even do it longer if you want to, in order for the cakes to really kind of stay put whenever you cook them. So this is a regular ice cream scoop, which, excuse my foil, is a 1/4 cup size. So if you don't want to use an ice cream scoop, you don't have to. But what we're going to do is use our ice cream scoop and pat it into a cake. And we're going to form all the cakes before we put them on the grill, so that way they cook evenly. The thing with seafood is you don't want to overcook it, right?
Exactly.
So, Laura. We're putting it on a piece of foil that we've sprayed with like non-stick spray, because it just makes, you know what, if you want to scoop them, I'll form them.
Okay, that'd be fine better.
But seafood is just one of those things that you don't want to overcook. Kind of like beef. Who wants anything beyond medium rare? You're good with medium rare, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. I was worried. I mean,
No.
because if you weren't, I mean, I don't know if we could be friends.
I don't think it'd be friends then. That'd be an issue.
So Laura doesn't cook,
No, I don't cook.
except for her cat.
I do make food for my cat.
Her cat eats homemade gourmet
Yes.
food that you prepare
With a premix. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
from scratch.
From scratch.
Well,
With liver. I mean, literally with liver that I had. So, like, I make it for my cat. He eats better than I do.
but Laura doesn't cook.
No.
Except for the cat.
No big deal.
Okay, so our butter is browning. We're going to dump in 1 cup of uncooked jasmine rice, and we're going to let it brown directly over the flame for just a couple of minutes until the rice starts to kind of become fragrant, and it's going to turn actually like, well, brown, right?
There you go.
In the meantime, we're going to continue to work on our cakes. Well, Laura's going to scoop while I form them into cakes.
Yeah, you're better at it.
So this is something that typically you would brown in a fry pan or even roast on a baking sheet in the oven. And we're going to do it on grill grates. They are, I'll be perfectly honest, going to be super delicate, and some of them are going to be failures. But the ones that come out with the little char marks are going to be fabulous. So I have done this with salmon patties.
That sounds good.
It's a kind of a similar. It's a similar
idea.
Yeah. rice is starting to brown, and as soon as it comes just a little bit further, what we're going to do is put in all of the remaining ingredients other than fresh parsley. So if this was sort of a Mexican themed, we would use, not parsley, we would use cilantro. But for what we're doing today, parsley is going to be the best. Into the rice is going to be 2.5 cups of chicken stock. It just adds flavor. A cup of minced onion, smoked paprika, salt, pepper, chili flakes, garlic, and really that's it. So once we add those ingredients, we're going to stir it around, bring it up to a simmer, and then move it off the direct heat. And we're going to close the lid. And then the grill does everything else over the next 20 to 30 minutes. And basically, as soon as the water is absorbed and your rice is tender, it's done. Onion, garlic, salt, pepper, crushed red pepper, smoked paprika, 2.5 cups chicken stock. This is a 9-inch cast iron skillet. You can also do it with a 10. I've done it with both, but either size works just really good for this recipe. I suppose you could probably do it with a 12, but it might cook a little bit faster, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it has more exposed surface area. So I'm going to close the grill lid. And that is going to, we're going to bring that up to simmer for just a minute, move it off indirect heat, and then we're going to get our, we're going to sear both sides of these shrimp cakes, move them onto indirect heat, and then, so the final 10 minutes is roasted asparagus. It doesn't need any direct grill. It does not need to be over the flame. It's just going to be 10 minutes of indirect. The ribeye we're going to put straight on the flame. Yep. So we'll see in a few. Okay, so the rice ingredients came to a simmer. We moved them on indirect heat, and I got out this. What would you call that? You know, the thing you put on bacon.
I can't think of the name.
Or dry brine. And
yes.
We're just going to include that in the show notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, so the last time I did salmon cakes, someone suggested, oh, well, you should try one of these on top of there, and then you'll have like less stuff fall through.
Smart.
So I think so too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to sear the shrimp, and, oh, and this is sprayed with a non-stick spray, like pan. We're going to sear the cakes until it kind of releases, flip them, and then move them on indirect heat to finish cooking. I'm just kind of hoping that, well, one, what's up with the neighbor's dog? But I've never used this type of grate on the grill, so I'm kind of winging it. These might be ugly, but they're gonna taste good.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Right. We already know they're gonna taste delicious.
I'm not concerned
I
about
mean, I
that.
can smell everything in
Yeah,
them.
me too. It'll be delicious no matter what.
Yeah. So as soon as I get the last of these cakes on here, we're going to close the grate, let these kind of start to brown on one side. And the one positive thing about this little, whatever, I can't remember the name of it is,
Yes.
is the fact that I can pick it up and flop it around. Rotate it, so the other half of the cakes are directly over the grill. So we're going to put the lid on, sear these, flip them, come back. Okay, so we're going to flip our cakes, and then we're going to move them on indirect heat. The rice, I don't know if you can see this, but has started to like really thicken up. You can tell that it's absorbing all the liquid. As soon as all the liquid is gone and the rice is tender, it's done. We're going to add parsley, stir it, and it's good. So we're going to flip our cakes, and then we're going to put our beef on, our asparagus, and the lemons, because they're all going to take plus or minus 10 minutes or so. Cakes are looking pretty delightful, actually.
They are.
And so I haven't used this type of grate. We still haven't decided what we're going to call it before necessarily with grilling, but it's working out pretty well.
Agreed.
Okay, so I'm going to shift everything around a little bit so that we can char the lemons, start cooking the ribeye. And the asparagus is just going to be indirect the entire 10 minutes. It is drizzled with olive oil, kosher salt, and pepper. So the lemons, I just put them directly over the coals. We're going to char them and then move them to indirect heat. So grilling citrus gives it kind of a different flavor than like if you were just going to squeeze a lemon wedge over your whatever. It makes it kind of caramelized, smoky. It makes it juicier. It's a different flavor profile, and I really like it.
Nice.
Okay, so the shrimp cakes have seared on both sides. They're on indirect heat. We've seared the lemons. They're on indirect heat. The rice is almost done. So all we have left is this luscious
amazing
ribeye.
Yes.
That is dry brined with kosher salt for 6 hours, plus or minus. So I'm gonna put it directly over the coals. We're gonna flip it just one time, and as soon as it's medium rare, we're gonna pull everything and eat.
Yeah.
Beautiful looking. It is. Kind of is. Okay, so we just pulled the steak. Steak is going to rest for a hot second. Everything else looks perfect. Lemons, asparagus, rice, cakes.
Yeah.
So we'll slice the steak and put it all together on a plate.
Sounds amazing. Good job. Good job.
Thanks. All right. I'm Jennifer. For this recipe and more, visit me at savorwithjennifer.com.